Hey everyone, this is Super Barley Brothers podcast episode 43, Extra Life. And the reason why we're going to call it Extra Life is because we're going to record during Extra Life like we are right now. We started about 8:30 this morning. It is about 8:30, well, it's 8:24 technically, but it's 8:24 in the evening. And we've been gaming for pretty much 12 hours, and we wanted to take a pulse check and see how everyone's doing. We're going to start popping our beers open because even though we have 12 hours left, we got to start drinking sometime. So this is Scott, Flip42, whatever you want to call me. And on my left, on both my lefts, I have Jerry, who has been long missing for quite some time, and we found him. And he has now joined us today during our Extra Life stream. And how are you doing 12 hours in, sir?
You found me on an island. My name's actually Oliver Queen now. It's very weird.
It's not, damn it. Wilson. It's not Wilson.
No, I'm not going that route. It's 12 hours in. I want a recliner.
Yeah. I think they need to make gaming chair
relax a little
recliners.
Well, we saw those RX Racer chairs when we were at QuakeCon.
Yeah.
I think that's about as close to a recliner chair as you can get.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How are you holding up, though?
It's been good. I wanted to take some naps here and there, and I take it in about another 6 or 7 hours. That's going to hit me really hard. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah, 2 in the morning will be beautiful. What are you drinking?
I got Raw & Sons Oktoberfest, and good news, it actually tastes good.
Yay!
Because the other Oktoberfests I've had recently have not been good. I thought that my palate changed over the past year, but you confirmed on one of the other ones that the Sam one wasn't good too. So Raw got it right this year, luckily.
Since you haven't been on the podcast in a while, what other Oktoberfest have you been drinking and that you've been displeased with?
I'd have to look it up, really.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, then on that note, while he's looking it up, because it has been a while since Jerry's been on, I thought you'd...
No, I mean, like the Sam Adams one I tried, the Shiner one I tried, and I didn't like that one again. The Goose Island one, I think I tried that one, and I was mixed. Huh?
So there's your first problem.
What?
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
He has a personal vendetta against Goose Island because they sold out to the big beer company.
Well, everybody has a price, John. Everybody.
Right.
Yours just happens to be Oktoberfest.
Yeah. So thank goodness for Raw & Sons, I guess.
Have you had any pumpkin beers?
I've had a few. Man, I should have came prepared.
All right, well, you know what? Do your research right now. We got some time. So,
No.
Well, I'll pass it on to John.
Yeah,
John,
go to John, then come back to me.
12 hours in. I know that you've been having fun today with a special assistant that's been with you most of the time that you've had to check
Wrangle.
a couple times. Yeah.
It's like herding cats.
Well, that's what he sounds like, actually, when he was on the pod. If anybody was streaming, that's what he kind of sounded like.
When he was howling, he was trying to be a werewolf is what he was trying to do.
Oh!
Or a wolf, whatever
That's
it is
right.
he was talking about.
How are you doing, though, 12 hours in?
I'm doing good.
Fallout 4.
Lots of Fallout 4.
Lots of Fallout 4.
Lots of Fallout 4. I love Fallout 4. It is fantastical. We'll dive
Yes,
into more
we
so
will.
of what I think about it. But
I want to know what you're
now,
drinking.
right now, I am enjoying a collaboration brew, one that is probably not available anymore, but if it is, you may be lucky. This is Lone Star's All Eyes on Us by Lone Star Taps and Caps out here out there in the colony / Louisville, and Cobra Brewing out of Louisville as well. It is a Russian Imperial Stout with coconut, and it is phenomenal.
Is that coconut strong? That's what I was wanting to ask you earlier.
No, it's very, very mild.
So it's really just a Russian Imperial Stout then?
Well, no, I mean, there's more to it than just a Russian Imperial Stout, but it is very good.
as you take a sip.
Mhm.
I'm
It's
actually,
tasty.
personally, I'm doing pretty good. We got some coffee this morning. I've actually had too much coffee because my wife actually went to Dunkin' Donuts also and I said, "Hey, why not give me another coffee and put some cream and sugar in that?" Because I did get straight up black coffee this morning at our Starbucks visit, and I was like, "I need some sugar. I need more than just the caffeine that
More
coffee gives
sugar.
me." And I've been a little jittery, a little bit, but it hasn't affected my gaming too much. I've actually completed 2 games, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Um, but what I'm drinking tonight, even though it's a little chilly outside, tis the season for the barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stouts to release. Um, I wanted a little bit of flavor to my beer as well, kind of like what John wanted, a little zest with the coconut in a stout, which I'm like, wow. I'm drinking Dichotomous by Jester King, which is a sour ale, and I was trying to find on the bottle what it is actually brewed with, and I can't. I don't want to bore everybody to tears. Oh, orange
It's
juice.
listed.
I know, I had to find it. Okay, so it's brewed with orange juice, orange zest, beets, your normal hops, and just normal yeast and souring bacteria.
Wow, that
It's
sounds
good.
disgusting.
I know you don't like sours. We all know. It hasn't been that long, Jerry, where we've forgotten your distaste for the finer things in life that is
Well,
sour
I just want to make
ales.
sure any of the new listeners or watchers know that. So.
Oh yeah, that is true. We have probably got to one new listener, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's good. I mean, it's refreshing. I didn't want to go heavy like what John has decided to do already. With what is the ABV on that, by the way? Did they say?
Give me a second. I'll find it.
All right. Well, my guess is if it's a Russian Imperial, it's got to be at least 9 to 10. Jerry, your Oktoberfest probably is ranging about a 6 to 7, so you're doing good. Mine's pretty much in the same 5 to 6 range. I didn't want to go heavy because, like I said, if I go strong, I'm gonna be tired by the time we hit 3 o'clock in the morning, and we still have 5 hours left. So
I'm
Oh
so
God, don't say
sleepy.
that.
I know,
It
right? I
is a
mean, think about it. We still have.
9.92.
Oh, it's a 9.92. That wow, it's kind of weak. That's all right though. It's got good flavor. I,
Well,
I,
apparently Cobra has a barley wine called Clarutian, and it's a 991.
Not been a big fan of Cobra, but they're new. They're trying to find their groove.
Yeah,
Hopefully they
I
do.
tried their donut one
Yeah,
at Taps
Cobra.
and Caps.
Yeah, I
I'm
even
glad I
tried it.
got the
And it was
sample.
funked. Yeah,
I liked it. I thought it was good. But
they're a new brewery, so gotta give them a chance. But anyways, enough of the beer talk because we have a lot of games that we want to talk about that we've been playing since, like I said, 8 o'clock this morning. Um,
Real quick though,
yeah. Oh
on the
yeah.
on the
Please.
pumpkin one, I
Enlighten.
didn't like St. Arlo Pumpkinator. Well, no, I did. Hold on, sorry. I didn't like Southern Tier Pumpkin.
yeah,
Uh, Pumpkinator was pretty good, but I tried. I went on a risk and I tried Kentucky Pumpkin
Okay.
Barrel Ale. Now I've tried a Kentucky beer before. That this Lexington, I'm sorry, is the brewer,
Hmm.
and I didn't like it, but I took a chance on it, and it was actually really good. It was a 10% pumpkin ale, and it was barrel aged. I really liked it.
Yeah, those are very strong. Those are good though.
But I didn't like Epic Brewing's fermentation without representation. Um,
Yeah, it's kind of hit and miss.
so yeah, it's been kind of hit and miss with the Oktoberfest pumpkin beers that I've been trying.
I will confess, and I have yet to have a pumpkin beer at all this season. The one that I still need to go get from the store is Warlock, because that's the one that I always like to drink at least once during the year. So I'm gonna have to get my hands on that soon. I'm not the Pumpkinator aficionado like our other missing member Ian is. That's his gold and diamond in the rough, or whatever you want to call it, nectar of the gods. Um, but yeah, I'm ready for stout season after this, though. I will have some stouts tonight. My goal is to drink. I do have another KBS. I'm gonna pop
Ooh.
later.
that's the
Debating on
stuff right there.
2014 or 2015. Don't know yet. Um, but we'll see how the night goes. I don't want to go too crazy, like I said. You gotta stay conscious. You gotta stay awake. Don't want to
Yeah.
pass out. You guys see me on the stream just. Uh,
I was in Kroger this morning getting my snacks and drinks and whatnot, and I walked by the Pick Your Six Pack, and they had a couple of the winter warmers and winter ales out. And I'm like, yeah, it's that time of year.
Finally feeling like that outside,
I
thankfully.
know, it's been refreshing though.
God. Anyways, all right. Games. Jerry and I have some games we want to talk about. John, I want you to release to the masses because you don't have your partner in crime here that's also been hyped about this game since it was announced, I don't know, E3 or whatever when they had their press conference. You have started Fallout 4 before Extra Life. You've put in about, I want to say now, over 10 hours into that game.
13.
Talk about it from just initial experience for new people like Jerry and I that I've barely touched a Fallout game, but I know Jerry and I'm sure there's other people out there that have never played a Fallout game. What are your thoughts? Compare it because you just completed 3 in New Vegas recently, so the floor is yours.
Quickly,
No, not
it's
quickly.
absolutely well. In a quick nutshell, for those that are listening that don't want to continue to listen, it's absolutely fucking unbelievable. They've added whole new gameplay mechanics to it. You now have settlements that you have to help maintain. So it actually starts off back in Sanctuary, where you come back to and wake up 200 years later. And sorry, there are spoilers in this. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, mute it for the next couple of minutes or whatnot.
Try to keep the spoilers at a minimum if you can,
I will
especially in
try
the
my
beginning
best.
of your stream. What happens because
I will
just
try my best. I'm not going to get into the details.
all right, that'll be good.
So yes, there is a lot that's going on, but yeah, one of the new elements is that you have these settlements that you have to run. And I say run, I don't necessarily know that it's a required gameplay mechanic, but it is there as an option to play. And you can build resources, defenses, you can build trading posts, houses, lights, you name it, pretty much anything that you can think of. You're able to go in and build and create and destroy and this and that and everything. So there's a lot involved with that particular mechanic.
Let's talk briefly about this because I want to get more details from you on this. And I have already asked you questions, but I want to hear them answered again.
I was about to say, you want to hear your questions again?
Well, the main thing that I never did ask you that I wanted to get more of a feel of is because you and I are very, very familiar with building simulators. You got your Minecraft, you've got Farming Simulator, you've got all these different do-it-yourself, here's the tools, the world is yours in a sense. How user-friendly is the building mechanics, say, to somebody that, jumps into Minecraft and, you got these kids nowadays that they use the web, they go online, but it's pretty much simplicity where all you have to do is point, click, and you take away what you want to harvest or extract and then place in a different area to make a shack, like you said, a trading post or whatever. How easy is it to not member, but to tear down structures, tear down objects? Because like you said, pretty much everything in the game is able to extract.
Be utilized, yeah.
Break down. How easy is it?
Well, it kind of depends. Initially, when you're first starting out, you'll start out in your city, in Sanctuary, and that is your settlement. And there's a couple of derelict buildings that there's nothing that you can do with them. I mean, the roof is caved in on itself, so there's nothing left. And so to get those reclaimed, you just walk up to them. And of course, I'm playing WASD Waggle, so you'll walk up to it and you hit R for scrap, and it'll basically scrap the entire building, and it'll tell you what you get. Usually it's a lot of steel that's involved. But I actually ended up walking through the remainder of Sanctuary, and I removed all the trees. So I have every single tree that's in there turned into wood.
So did you say that all you have to do is walk up to a house and hit R to scrap, and then you can literally tear down an entire? I thought you'd have to like manually click on
No,
every damn
no,
thing.
because it's considered one concise or one singular element. You can just, and it only works with the derelict houses. You can't do this with the houses that are still standing and that you can still walk inside.
Right.
It's only with the ones that you cannot get inside. And so if it's derelict and the roof's caved in on itself and there is no entrance or exit, then you can just scrap the entire thing.
Wow. Okay, that actually, see, that's why I was thinking from a console owner. I mean, I know they've ported Minecraft over to the consoles, but I mean, this is where I have to weigh the, what's better, PC or console, and in my opinion, building simulators and stuff like this, town building and all that stuff is so much easier with a keyboard and mouse because you have the precision of a mouse.
Exactly. And when you're starting to build buildings, a lot of it, like when you're starting to put up walls, a lot of it is snap. So if
Okay.
you put one wall up and you begin to put the second wall into place, it'll snap. So it'll just automatically link in, and
Oh,
that'll
that's cool.
affect the whole building. So if you're trying to build it on a previous foundation and you've got it tilted at even 1 degree, the whole thing will be off from the foundation,
Wow.
and it'll be kind of dangling off each side. But it's a non-issue. I mean, it doesn't affect anything. But you've got doorways, you've got gun turrets, you've got lights, you've got all your crafting tables are available. You're able to farm, pull water, build generators, clean water. So the options are virtually endless.
It's pretty, it makes me wonder if they had already had the Fallout Shelter mobile game in mind when they were making this game for, 5, 6 years or whatever, because they wanted to try to introduce people to a different side of Fallout because, I
I
mean,
think
I
they
never
very
played the first or
specifically
second
did.
one, so I don't know if those two had those mechanics built in, but
No, I think this is brand new. I never
yeah,
played one or two, but I believe that this is very much a brand new mechanic, and I think a lot of it was driven from Shelter.
cool. I've heard shooting's a lot better. Is that true?
It's a lot more accurate. The one thing that kind of bothers me is right now when you go and you go into VATS mode,
Uh-huh.
which is Q whenever you're playing, your target will still kind of move around and whatnot from there, which can be
What do you
a
mean
bit of a
move
pain in the
around?
ass.
Because when I always saw VATS, it
It's
goes into bullet time and it
it goes
freezes.
into bullet time, but it's not frozen. There is
Really?
still yes, there's still some movement. And the one thing that drives me nuts right now is trying to kill bloat flies because they dodge and weave so fast that trying to do it in a down the iron sights mode is really hard. So you kind of have to shoot it from the hip. And of course, your accuracy is less when you're shooting from the hip.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that they added still slow movement. Wow.
Yeah, it's just enough, but it's kind of nice because if somebody happens to be popping their head out from cover and you're in VATS, you can then adjust your target up to their head, watch their number increase as far as what percentage potential accuracy you're going to have, and then now you also have a critical strike. So as you get enough consecutive hits or added up hits, then you will have the ability at a certain point to hit spacebar, and it'll activate critical strike, and it's a guaranteed hit that will inflict maximum damage. And it's
See, and
pretty damn gruesome because I pulled off one of those critical hits on a head, and I watched the head literally explode, and the eyeballs pop forward towards me, and they're just separated, and they're just flying right at me. It was very intense.
it's awesome.
So,
Um,
oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
that's
ahead,
scary. Come
Jared.
on.
So one of the things I really haven't gotten into because this is let me back up. This is considered an RPG, right?
I don't really know what to consider it. I mean, it's got RPG elements where you have to choose whether you want charisma leveled up. More so, you're picking perks. Do you want to level up your gun capability? Do you want to level up your science? Do you want to level up your intelligence?
That's RPG. And
Yeah,
plus, it's an open world, so there's more
full
time. So what I'm getting
sandbox.
at is the time factor. So you and I talked a little bit, but I'll bring that into the conversation. You played Fallout 3, you played Fallout Vegas. I know you've talked about that on the previous podcast and whatnot. So my question is kind of a twofold. one, I've heard that you could just jump into Fallout 4 with no previous experience with Fallout at all. Because to me, it's, from what I understand, it's not a reboot. It is from somebody else's perspective in a different town and everything like that, as far as what has happened post-apocalyptic. So is that an accurate statement, first of all?
You're not coming into this brand like you don't have to have the prior knowledge of the other games
Okay.
to be able to play this. Now there is the occasional reference back to some of the other games, but it's only from a location perspective and not from a story perspective.
Okay. So the other thing, though, is, like me and a lot of people that have seen, we have this ginormous backlog. Fallout 3 and New Vegas happens to be on my backlog already. I already have them. Would you recommend to somebody that has already purchased them to go ahead and just start 3 New Vegas and then 4?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't hurt. I mean, you're not hurting yourself if you were to jump to 4 and then go back to 3. I mean, I didn't get into the series until 3 and New Vegas. So I didn't play 1 or 2. And I didn't feel like I was lost in any way.
So when you jumped into 3, you didn't feel like you were lost by missing 1 and 2? Okay.
One thing that's interesting that they did in 3 that's different from 1 and 2 that I know of that I've seen is Fallout 1 and 2 are top-down, PC-only games that play kind of like a Diablo point-and-click. It's not
They were more
first-person
strategic,
shooter.
I think, yeah.
Fallout 3 was the first time that they actually went into a first-person perspective, and they utilized this new VAT system. And the one thing that I just can't get my mind behind, I guess, is just the gamer in me. I like things just every time I play a game, and they always give me the option to manually select a skill. I always say, nope, I want you to auto-select it because I trust your judgment. I don't like to look at a menu and go, okay, I need to put 3 on strength, I need to put 3 on vitality, I need to put this much on mana and whatever. I like to just let the game know. That's what I kind of liked about Skyrim so much was Skyrim read what I was doing as I played the game and said, oh, you're using your magic skills a lot here. We're going to auto-level you up because you've used it quite a bit, and we kind of see where you're going with your character. And that's not the case is what I'm getting at in Fallout 4, correct? Because every time you level up, you have to go by that huge-ass tree that they showed us, or that poster that they showed us at QuakeCon this year of all the different possibilities, and that like really hit me overwhelming. That was just like, yep, if I can't just have it set to auto and this is where I want to go, I don't know if I could ever get into the game because that's just way too much up here where I just like to sit and just let the game. I'm one of those guys that just likes to let the game flow for me.
Yeah,
So
I
how
agree.
difficult has that been for you, John, as far as I know that you are a fan of that type of stuff because you do like to literally create your character not just from a creation perspective but from a, everything skill-wise. So
Yeah.
do
I
you
mean, I
love
like the ability of
Yeah,
being.
go ahead.
At times, yeah, it would probably be nice to kind of have some guidance as far as like, okay, and in a sense, you've got that within the tree perk itself because there's certain perks that will be locked out based on the perks that you've started to build. So you can't just start a build and then go, oh, you know what, I need to go complete opposite because some of the things will lock out and you just can't get to them because you'll never earn enough points to get those perks unlocked.
So when you say that they're locked, do they give you the
They gray
knowledge
out.
to let you know, hey, if you want this perk, here's what you need to level up in?
Well, I mean, you can see the whole.
So
you
it's really
can see
like
the
a
whole
tree.
chart. Not really. I mean, you basically got your special right along the top,
Okay.
and then you've got all the build outs, the different levels that go down all the way to 4,
Okay.
and you can see what each one requires.
Okay.
But in this particular case, I think that I've got my luck very low, and I've got what is the other thing that I've got very low? Maybe
Charisma,
endurance.
thought.
No, my charisma's high. I think my endurance is low.
Okay.
And I think those should be the left 2 trees. And the very last items on there, level 4 for the perks, they're dotted out, so you can't access them.
And
Whereas
I know
with,
they say that you can because the game has no level cap, you can pretty much max out everything if you want to, but it's just like, I don't know. It would be something that I had to play around with, but I mean that's one of the things I'm just like,
If you guys want, when I start the stream back up next, what I'll do is I'll go specifically to the perk tree,
okay.
and you guys can see what it is that we're talking about
And does it cost? Because that's another thing that always bugged me was games that did let you reskill, or I don't know what the terminology is, but they
to
let
reset
you
your perks.
reset. Does that cost?
I don't know because I haven't found that option.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's not necessarily saying that I've been looking either.
And is it true too that you can only create one character? You cannot have multiple characters?
Unsure. But that was
Okay.
the same in Fallout. I mean, that was the same in Fallout 3 in New Vegas.
So that
You couldn't
is
have multiple characters.
okay.
It's
S-
not like Diablo.
Yeah, and I guess that's where I'm just comparing this to because that's the only game that I could, literally, if you want to talk an RPG element,
Yeah, that would
theirs
be the
is
one.
very generic.
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of be nice to be able to have multi-characters because I would have liked to have started a brand new character
Sure.
specifically for Extra Life.
Yeah.
But I have no problem playing the one that I only put 3 hours into, 3 or 4 hours into.
Cool.
It's not like those that are watching really missed out on anything as it was going on. So,
Has a story gripped you?
oh yeah, the story's fantastic.
I did watch the
What's
intro.
really
Just let everybody know. I mean, and I don't know if anybody else watched. I did watch the intro to Fallout 4, and like I said, without spoiling anything, it does paint the picture of what you're supposed to do. Pretty much after you have that intro scene, it really reminded me a lot of the intro to The Last of Us. And if you haven't watched it, don't watch it because it kind of spoiler, but in a different sense. I mean, the whole way that they kind of paint the picture of who your character is, who your significant other is, what type of house you have, what type of daily lifestyle you just live. And that's what I liked about it was, especially in the character creator mode, where you just both are standing in front of a bathroom mirror, and it's just like you're doing your hair, just like what we all go through every morning with our significant others. Is we're just like, hey, excuse me, I got to get by, I got to brush my teeth, or I got to do my hair, whatever. And it was just a really cool, intimate way that they just said, okay, here's who you are, here's what's going on, and then bam, it just clicks, and it's just like,
Oh, it was a seamless
okay,
transition that I didn't even realize. Like when I first got done making my character, I didn't even realize that I was in the game.
right, and that's yeah. I saw you stand there, and you're just like, oh, I'm supposed to move now, and
Uh-huh.
I was
I
like,
was like, should I try moving the mouse? I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to
right.
do.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a really good transition, but yeah, it totally took me by surprise. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, especially that scene, the wake up scene. I was just like, what?
Yeah,
All right, enough said.
like I said, they've done a really good job with the way this plays, and I was really surprised because they put out the minimum specs and the recommended specs to run this game
Yeah.
at the recommended level. My system surprisingly was what I felt was a little less than the recommended, and it auto set my graphics to ultimate, and I've had no problems. The only lag that I'm seeing now is because I'm trying to run broadcasting and streaming and the game, so there's a little bit of lag that's happening, but outside of that, nothing.
And that does make me happy because after hearing about all the dilemma and stuff, Ian though said that he's having no issues on Xbox. I'd really like to see, and I'm not one of those ones that's really just like, oh, if it's not 60 frames per second, then it's a piece of shit. But when I've heard that frame rates have been dipping on the console version below 30, even below 20, and it's just like inching along, I'm like, yeah, kind of can agree where I would prefer to play it on a game that's just constant motion. Especially a game like that.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I
it's
won't be
played well.
jumping the gun anytime soon. I do want to hear your continued playthrough experience, so as we continue to record our podcast and if it goes into the next year. But I have heard that the game is along the same lines as what you took to beat Fallout 3 in New Vegas, which was 30, 40 hours, give or take. Granted, yes, you will have, the infinite quest line is what they've called it. It will never truly end, but the way that I've heard that they enable that is the settlements that you build will constantly give you randomized quests where like if you complete your settlement and they're like, oh, hey, there's a camp that's over here. Why don't you go and take out everybody? Well, there's your side quest. And then
Yeah,
you'll
we can use
expand.
some
And then
more.
you'll
Yeah.
expand. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
just an infinite possibility. So it's cool.
Yeah, like I said, they've done a really good job, and I think it's going to play really well. So,
Hey, what else have you been playing?
what else we played? We played some Heroes of the Storm.
Beat the kid. I'm just,
Beat the kid.
I'm just
Terrible.
No, yeah, we did play about 4 games of Heroes of the Storm, and it is fun. I do need to play about 5 more, though, which I'm going to try to get done before midnight tonight because that's one of the dailies, and I really do want to get that because I can get some gold that I can actually purchase a character. Um, I'm still liking it. I do like the new maps that they've added because they have added new quests and maps and themes, like the dragon one that we played that we unfortunately got our butts handed to right at the end, but we were actually making a good push where in the game during when you're playing, you actually have to control 2 portals at the top and the bottom, and once you control those 2 portals, one of your other team members needs to activate the portal in the center that will then transform them into this huge dragon that actually helped John get halfway through. I told him, I was like, they got the top one. You just head to the middle one. Immediately when you respawn, just go to the middle because I'm going to try to hold off on this bottom one. And he turned into it and just wreaked havoc, just pushing through all the turrets and everything, which was really neat. Then we played another one where it was kind of like you have to kill all these seeds, and you gather seeds, and then it will spawn a grotesque, like green monster creature that again somebody can control if they go and activate it once whatever side wins the gamble. Like I said, good game. I mean, it's just a time killer, so it's not like it's just another game where you don't have to think. You're just constantly clicking, and it does get a little annoying, but not too bad.
Yeah.
What
But
else?
nope, that was that was
Dungeon
it.
boss.
Actually, no, I haven't played any Dungeon Bosses yet. I probably should. Gonna
I do
start
want to
that.
talk a little bit about that because, damn, Jerry, you're like ahead of me now, and that kind of aggravates me. So,
Jerry's hardcore. He's
but I
really
am happy you are on my
shit.
friends list. You are a very useful character whenever I need to get some help. So,
Yeah, John still hasn't added me to his friend list because he's a punk.
Yeah, sorry. Friday was
wow.
busier than anticipated at work.
Whatever. It takes literally 5 seconds. You can kiss my ass.
Click
It does,
accept.
but it takes time to load up too.
Oh, is that a? It takes. No, it's an old phone.
Hey, look, there it is. Dungeon boss, woo!
I'm
That's
gonna kick your ass.
Anything else, though, John? Before we move on to Jerry.
No, go ahead and move to Jerry.
All
I'll
right.
go ahead and get on that right now, Jerry. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Dang right.
Just for you, buddy.
I might get rid of somebody to add you too, because everybody wants to be my friend apparently.
Apparently.
I think you're what 48 now. 40. Oh my God.
I am.
I'm 42.
I've got a little more than 200 to go before I hit 50.
And
Dang.
you get the quest complete, and you get like a shitload of gold and more Nimriel tokens. Anyways,
Yeah.
Jerry, first I want to hear you before we go into what you and I played this afternoon. Talk a little bit about Assassin's Creed and your experience this morning with that.
Assassin's Creed Liberation HD. Thought I'd pull that one out. The old backlog, because I've been itching for an Assassin's Creed game, and I hate Uplay. And, I still hate Uplay. I don't think, whenever I do get an Xbox One or whatever, Ubisoft games are going to be on the console.
Well, guess what?
What?
Xbox One has a Uplay app.
Fucking shit.
It's not required while you're playing the game, so you're
Okay, good. That thing
It's
is
just an
crap.
option. I saw it. I was like, hey, Uplay app. All right.
Well, because so before I get into that, so earlier this week I actually finished up Watch Dogs, the main campaign.
Yeah.
I really liked.
It's been. That's right. Okay, so it's been a while since you've been on, so I'm gonna mute myself. Talk about everything you've played for like the last I don't know, year almost.
Oh, it hasn't been that much. Good old college. But yeah, Watch Dogs. It's one of those games you can jump in real quick and play for 15 minutes and do a side mission or a main mission. I really was enjoying it. I was having so much problems though because of Uplay. It's a memory hog or whatever. I mean, I dumbed down the graphics to try to help, and when I was on foot, there was barely any lag. But when I got into a car and I was going a lot faster, I it looked like I sucked at driving because the lag. I would be driving down the center or whatever, and they would lag for like a half a second to a second. All of a sudden, there was a car in front of me, or I sideswiped it or whatever. That was annoying because there are some cool cars in there. I really like that part. But I think Watch Dogs overall is a good concept. I actually hope they make a Watch Dogs 2, and it kind of does what Assassin's Creed did, and like Assassin's Creed was the groundwork, and then Assassin's Creed 2 was exponentially better. I will still stand behind my word and say that Brotherhood is still my favorite out of all of them that I've played so far. But I haven't played Rogue, Unity, or Syndicate. Like I said, I did pull Liberation out. There's still some, kind of the same issues that you had like with Assassin's Creed 3 when you were playing Connor. Still some of the same issues that I don't think they've ever fixed with the free running and jumping and things like that. Sometimes it does what I want it to. Sometimes it does the total opposite of what I want it to. I'm having fun. I'm trying to get through it. I'm literally now halfway through the entire game. There's 9 sequences, and I think I just finished sequence 4. So I might actually. I was playing that before we started this podcast, so I might actually try to finish it tonight. As far as other games, I know y'all have talked about it before in the past podcast, Dungeons Boss. It was honestly my first mobile game that I've actually played more than a handful of times. I'm on that thing every day. It's ridiculous. And you mentioned it, I think, Scott, last podcast, or John did, about the quick loot. Holy crap, that's a game changer.
Especially when you need to level up and you don't want to spend the time going through a damn dungeon. You just want to get that potion. Absolutely.
Makes it a lot easier without a doubt.
Yeah.
What?
It makes it a lot easier without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I really go in there right now, because I've gotten to the point where on the regular campaign, my guys are pretty much done. I can't move forward. It's a level or 2 beyond what my characters are capable of. So, I'll go through and I'll do like the daily specials, like, defeat 15 samurai, defeat 15 assassins or whatever. You have to go through the dungeons on that one. But when you're just looking to level up your character, like I'm trying to get Willow and the Knight Shadow guy, I forget his name, but they're both fast rogues. I'm trying to get them up to 3-star, and so I've just been, constantly pushing them through the quick loot and trying to get that done. But it's a really fun game, and I talked to, Doug the other day, and they're constantly still working on making it better and pushing out updates. They just pushed out another one where I think they rebalanced PvP.
Oh my God, I need to briefly talk about that because I don't know how knowledgeable you guys are on with PvP. Do you do it a lot, Jerry, or do you just stick with the main quests?
And I'm 50-50 because I'll go in there and I'll scout somebody and I'll see, like, I might be able to take them, and then I can't.
Because
that's why I'm trying to level up the rogues because they'll go first.
So
See, I can't play PvP at all.
And you say that, John, and I'm gonna tell you right now, give it another chance. Because they have revamped it, and here's what they've done, which makes it.
I played one within the last week, and I wasn't capable of it.
No, this was like on Thursday or Wednesday of this week that they actually had the new update. They actually posted it on Facebook. Trust me. Here's how they do it, because like I said, I hated the new update that they did to PvP, because the problem that you have when you go into PvP is when you go up and you form up, that other person that you're fighting against has the ability to attack you first and pretty much can wipe you out if they have the right abilities.
Yeah.
If they have the new guy that I just got, Toro, that can take away all of your abilities with that Stampede attack, you're pretty much screwed. And then you got Chief Nubnub, and I know I'm saying these names now, but Chief Nubnub that can then boost the crit and the attack of every party member on the opposite team and heal them you're like I said, I hated it because I'm like, you're not even going to let me attack once. That is
Hmm.
so unfair. Now, with the update, they finally did what needs to be done, which is turn-based. And when you pick your party members, it will actually show up at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when you form up, the person that has number 1 on their team will do their attack, and then it goes to you, and you do your attack, and then it goes back and forth, and
Nice.
it's a back and forth, and you actually, I have been able to win, and it is a lot better.
All right, I'll
It
give it a
is
try then.
absolutely. The only thing that you really want out of it, though, is you want the scrolls. And yes, I know the
Yeah.
scrolls are the main money catcher. That's the reason why people spend money is because they want scrolls to get more tokens to, like what Jerry said he's trying to do, which is to level up and get higher health for all of his characters, and that's what that does. But there are some that you can't get tokens for in the quest line, like Toro, like Nemriel. You can't get that in the treasure chest. You could only get that in a scroll, whatever the freaking treasure
Summon.
chest. What's it called? Summon.
The
Yeah,
summon.
that's right, summon chest. So I'm liking this new update. I really, really digging it. I'm actually playing more than I was because I actually just gave up for a while because I was just like, I'm done with the, quick loot. I don't really have a purpose to level my characters up because I did like the PvP element. I did like the ability to take my characters that I've been working on in training and learning new abilities and take them against other humans. I use that term loosely because it's still AI, but it's still to go up against what other people have created in their own party, and it
Yeah.
makes it interesting. So kudos to Doug, kudos to that team. I don't know who the hell thought of that ability to do a number system, but keep it up and do not take that away, please. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interject. I
the
really wanted to give props to
conversational.
Dungeon
Yeah.
Boss because, yeah, and I'm glad you're playing a mobile game. It really makes me happy. I know it's been a while that we finally got you hooked on one, but this is a good one to be hooked on.
Yeah, and I don't know why I'm hooked on it. That's the funny thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just because for some reason I think I'm supporting family, even though I'm not, because I ain't spending a dime on it.
You are by playing it.
Huh?
You're there in
You
spirit.
are by playing it. By
Yeah.
playing it,
Well,
giving
I'm
them.
spreading the good word.
Yeah.
Um. So other than that, man, I haven't been playing much, man. It's just been college for the most part. Rocket League here and there. I tried the Battlefront beta. I had some personal computer issues. I don't think I was able to run it as well as I'd like to, and but I don't know if I'll buy it day one. But I'm definitely going to have it for our winter EMIS. Hopefully, I can make another upgrade before then and run it a little better. But um,
Be a
that's
good
all I
way to
can think
go.
of right now. Before we get into it, to the other games we've been playing today.
Do we want to talk about that game right now?
Oh God, Saints Row, get out of hell.
Jerry
I
and
What you told me.
I, Jerry and I started this actually at QuakeCon in August because we were trying to think of stuff to play at we're at this huge LAN party. Yes, Rocket League took over everybody's computer and was just a blast that we all had. And if you're a PC owner, if you're a PS4 owner, I have heard through the grapevine that there is an inevitable announcement that it should be also coming to Xbox One soon, and I hope so because everybody needs to own this game. I'm sorry, it is this generation's so far. It's it game. It's the it game.
it
But
really, I
anyways,
mean,
go ahead.
it's. I'm sorry, it's just incredible.
It's a
I mean,
simple
and
concept, but yeah.
I'm sure that they were as surprised as everybody
They
else.
were. That's why the servers. It was so funny because when it was announced that it was coming out on Steam and on PS4, PS4 members got it for free if you're a Plus member because they didn't think it was going to sell. They didn't think anybody was going to buy it. They were just like, it's a soccer game with cars. Go ahead and put it on Plus because what Sony does is they come to them and say, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars and we're going to give it to our members for free, and this is how much you're going to get. You're going to get a base amount that we're going to pay you for the game, pretty much, and you can't get anything else. I'm sure they're going to get some royalties out of this anyway, so it's whatever. But anyways, it broke the servers. Like literally the first 2 weeks it crashed, and they could not keep up with the amount of people that were wanting to play this game because it was just a simple game, but with so much fun factor behind it. I mean, you feel like you are at a soccer game whenever you score a goal. Everybody is yelling just like the fans do in the stadium, and they're just yelling "goal" or scream at the top of their lungs, like we did at Winter Emus. I mean, we literally like lost our shit a few times where we're
We
just
all
like,
lost
"How
our
the
voices.
hell did you pull that off,
Magic.
Magic?"
Magic.
I
And
want to
then,
I want to
and
know
then,
more about what you've done in the Mutator mod because and it might just be me and my inability to understand all the options, but when I tried to mess around with it, I hated it because the super bouncy ball, that ball was just going up and down like a damn
oh,
super bouncy ball, and I
I
hated it.
the when I went and dabbled in it, so of course on 1021 I got the best DLC that anybody's ever released, and that is the Back to the Future 2 DeLorean time machine. Um,
That was so worth the $2.
yeah, it was $1.99, and if you haven't gotten it yet, you're not a nerd. Go get it. But anyways, so what I did is I went into the mutator mode and I made it to where my typical boost is just twice as much or something like that. I made it 10 times as much. And I made it zero gravity and all this other stuff that was in the advantage of having fun. I was able to jump the DeLorean, hit the boost, the wheels came down like it does in Back to the Future 2, and I was just flying around and doing loops and flips, and it was, I'll go in and I'll record that because I didn't record it last time, but man, that part was just fun. I don't even think I scored a ball. It was just the whole time I was just doing that, the 5-minute match.
That's awesome.
But you can make the ball bigger. You can make it a cube. You can make it super bouncy. I don't think I personally would do that to the ball. I think the lower gravity and the more boost is pretty much what I would do with that. And that's really just goofing around with friends or something like that. I wouldn't want to do that with people I don't know or something like that. That's just something like we do at a LAN party or online or something, have some fun.
It's like the Chivalry mod.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just an added, new feature that really wasn't needed, but it just makes it a little bit more interesting, and that's my goal or my quest for you to complete is by Winter Emus. I want you to create some crazy ass mutator mods that we will play rounds of
Okay.
while we, game and drink and do crazy stuff. So. To get back into the horrible, no, the interesting game of which is Saints Row Get Out of Hell.
Talk about a glitchy game.
Yes. So we actually, Jerry and I, like I said, we were at QuakeCon. We're trying to figure out what the hell to play because we want to do some co-op stuff, want to do some multiplayer stuff, and we were just like, what is there? What do we have in our library? And we're like, oh yeah, Saints Row Get Out of Hell. We actually did pick that up when it was on the dirt cheap because we weren't going to pay full face value for it, even though they were only charging $30 for it. We're just like, no, it's an expansion. I mean, this is literally a DLC expansion because to give you
wouldn't call it an expansion. I mean,
I call it DLC.
Because if you're comparing it to like Heart of the Swarm or Legacy of the Void, I would not put it in the same class.
It's story quest DLC, kind of like what Batman Arkham Knight is from what we've seen Ryan play with the Red Hood, which is only about 2 hours long, with the Harley Quinn, which is only about an hour long. Take that, combine it together. Literally, when Jerry and I finished at QuakeCon, we had about 3 hours built into it. We beat the game today, and we looked at our time of completion, and we did do a lot of side stuff. We are 75% complete with the game, and it only took us 5 hours. About 5 hours, 11 minutes. And that is totally... with also having many crashes, with also having many issues with quests not triggering, with just lockups, and yeah, it's a broken-ass game, and I'm kind of upset because of how much I like Saints Row 4 and how it was a little buggy, but not nearly as buggy as this, and all they were doing was taking that same game engine and skinning it over to make that town look like hell, in a sense. It really is no excuse why you would have such a broken game.
No, because like So first of all, if to the main, you're probably around 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
And because of the way the Steam counter works, is even if you're in the pause menu, it clocks you as gameplay. So
Yeah.
even with the Steam counter, I guarantee you at least 30 minutes of that was us trying to start something or dealing with a bug.
Yeah.
And the thing is I got introduced at Saints Row the Third. I had a blast
It's the
with that.
best
And I
one.
do have Saints Row 2. Eventually, I might go back and play that. But I really had a good time with 3. I had a good time with 4. I will say that once you get your characters leveled up, it really starts to get boring because you are literally God in that game. And so, but I did enjoy the heck of it, especially on co-op. So that's why Scott and I, because we did a lot of co-op in 4, and so Scott and I was like, okay, it's cheap. We both talked to each other during whatever Humble Bundle or Steam sale was going on, and so we got that, and we agreed not to play it without the other because we both got it, and it was just, before you had the glitches, quote unquote, but it was covered up because it was the whole Matrix style universe, right? So it could be covered up a little and be excused, and a lot of those glitches, at least what I experienced in 4, were visual glitches. The
Right.
glitches in Gat Out of Hell were like physical game-breaking glitches. Today we did one that when we finally got it to work, I actually had a blast doing. It was the going up against those frat demons. You're supposed to take a cricket bat and hit them like through these targets or something like that. When Scott first started it up, none of them showed up at all. None of them. And we were in the quest because Scott had to go and actually quit the quest, or we let the time run out or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the second time we started up, it was halfway there. There was maybe 3 or 4 of the frat boys, and then we had to do it again, and finally it was like that. But to me, that's game breaking, or the kind that it was a showstopper at QuakeCon. Is every time we got to that particular quest, it would crash out on us.
Yeah, so it was a quest where we actually had to rescue. If you're familiar with Saints Row 4, it's the twin girls. I forgot their names.
Yeah,
But
Viola
anyways, it's not really neat. The thing about Saints Row is you really don't need to pay attention to the story. If you want to pay attention to anything, pay attention to the slapstick humor and the musical numbers like we had to
Oh my
freaking listen
God.
to and Get Out of Hell, which was terrible. Anyways, we had to go rescue them. That they were being held captive by these demons. That they were in this orb. That we had to go kill these demons that were hovering around it, doing this kind of like seance or whatever. Every time when Jerry would enter into that arena style and help me try to take out the enemies, game would crash. It would lock up. He would then get disconnected. Then I'm
You want
like,
to talk
okay,
about a
where are
pain?
you at? I need a revive. What, John?
I said, you want to talk about a pain in the ass? That would be it right there.
It
Yeah.
was. I think it happened to us about 3 times, and it even happened to us at Winter Emus because we actually tried it also at Winter Emus, and we're like,
That's right.
so actually today,
Or Fall Eaters, actually.
Jerry and I were just like, okay, here's how we're going to do this. Don't invite me until you've already entered that quest, and then I will come to you once you've already started it in your game. Because we're not missing out on anything. We're not having a sync issue because he's on the same quest line as I am. So it's not like as long as I don't beat it before him entering, it'll be okay, which there was no way I was going to do that. So luckily it did work, but it was just like, that's what it takes? Really? And then everything else, it was just like when we were trying to do another quest in the same tree, and it was every time we were selecting it on both of our ends, because I was like, are you getting the same error message I'm getting? Because it assumes that we're still in a quest right now, and it won't let me go and set a marker, when in fact we were in no quest. We were in free roam mode. We had nothing to do. We had to actually close the game out and reboot it up, and it was just like, I know it shouldn't be this frustrating, but it's just sad because I feel like this is the end of that franchise. And I really thought early on, especially, I did not know that you haven't played Saints Row 2. That is John and I's, like,
It
I
was a
put
great one.
3 a little bit above 2, but 2 is right up there because 2 is like on a still mature level as far as what the story is. but the stuff that you can do in that game, that's where they invented insurance fraud, but they also invented the ability to go in a septic tank and literally shoot shit
Oh,
all over buildings and everything because you wanted to piss off the governor of Saints Row or the mayor of Saints Row.
Yep.
It was hilarious. We could not stop laughing. Um, but I just feel like that franchise was so promising because, yes, you have your GTAs. And this was a great game that, even though Grand Theft Auto 5 was still great, and they actually went back to their arcade elements and not so much as the real life mechanics like they did in 4, which really turned me off. I really wanted more of a Saints Row type of open world city game, kind of like what made me think of it was my answer to Crackdown. When Crackdown wasn't being played or when Crackdown made Crackdown 2 and was shit, I had Saints Row. Because Saints Row gave me exactly what Crackdown gave me, which was overpowered, just the ability to do whatever the hell I wanted in this city, and nobody gave a shit. It was awesome. So,
yeah, I feel the same way. I feel similar that when and I'll go back and play 2 eventually, but when third, I mean, I think I had 2 run-throughs. I had that on the 360, and then I got it on the cheap on the PC, and I played through it. So, and I've only done that with a handful of games, and if as far as wrapping up Gat on Hell, as long as you have number one somebody else to play it with, and number 2, it is less than $10.
I would say less than 5.
With all the issues we had, yeah, I would say then I would agree with that. But yeah. I will say
$1 an hour
that the story is beyond ridiculous and almost embarrassing.
Yeah. And I get that they were trying to be funny, but it got to the point where I was literally also saying, who the hell did they hire as a writer? Or even, it just, you remember how Saints Row 4 ended? It was actually interesting because I thought they were going to actually try to go back and rewrite history because they were going to have to go back in time because of the alien that was on board. And I was like, holy shit, they're going to go back to, like, Columbus. They're going to go back to Old England. And I'm like, that would make a badass game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they left it open to do that, and I don't know what Gat Out of Hell was their. I don't know what their expectation was of that.
Yeah,
I will say that if they do another one, they need to go back to that 2, 3, 4 feel. And you mentioned GTA, so I haven't played a lot of GTA. GTA 3, that on the PS2, and pretty much I didn't even play a mission. I would get cheat mode, unlimited ammo, all weapons, God mode, and go have fun. Yeah. And then I got GTA 4, and what turned me off, and probably what turned you off, Scott, is just all the little life stuff. Like, hey, I'm at the bowling alley, come hang out, or something like that. It was too much of a sim feel than what I wanted. And I didn't play Vice City or San Andreas.
Oh, my God.
Is that something that I should go back and forget about 4 and go back and do?
Vice City for sure because of the soundtrack. When you got Mr. Mister, and you've got Phil Collins, Genesis, and you've got Vice City alone. Did you ever watch Scarface?
Oh, yeah.
That is what Vice City pretty much is based after. Is
okay.
An 80s version of Scarface where you're a drug kingpin and you are from the lowest of the low to you're rising up to the top. And that game, like I said, when you've got 80s everything, I mean, you've got the clothes, you've got the cars, you've got the look, you've got... Vice City is my favorite. San Andreas is a great game as well because of what they added, and that's where they kind of missed the ball because everybody loves San Andreas for the ability to modify your character based on how they look. Like, you could actually take your character in San Andreas, go to the gym, work out like a hoss, and you could make yourself look like you're on steroids.
Oh, wow.
And your strength would be up through the roof. You would be able to kick people and kill them in one hit. Just crazy stuff. Or you could actually go to the burger joint eat a shitload of bad food, and you would look like you were about 400 pounds. It actually altered the way that your body looked based on what you ate. They didn't make it required. Like if you didn't ever eat, you would look like you were a crackhead, and you look real bony and thin and just anorexic. And it was hilarious. It was a great story as well. It's all 90s old school rap when you got Ice-T, Dre, all those old school. And they introduced the lowrider mechanic in your cars where you could hook up a lowrider and actually bounce it. And I don't know how it plays on the PC because I don't think it's compatible with the controller unless you map it.
Which one? Was it Vice or
San
San
Andreas and Vice because of how old they are.
Vice, I just looked it up because I was curious.
Uh-huh.
Vice is partial controller support, so to me, that sounds like it was an afterthought.
Right.
Okay, so I might try that out. San Andreas.
Oh my god.
Um,
Dude, even the radio stations in Vice City are amazing because of the DJs that they got. And that's even where I'm going to piggyback and talk to you about when you can, you absolutely need to play GTA 5.
yeah,
Because
I will.
Kenny Loggins is a DJ, and Kenny
So
Loggins is the man.
So San Andreas does not look like it's controller compatible, but you can probably get that third-party thing and map.
Yeah, you can get that. I forgot what it's called, but yeah.
But as far as 5 is concerned,
Yeah, 5 is...
I've got it on the PS3, but with all the mods that you can do on PC,
Well,
I
sure.
don't even know if I want to touch it on PS3.
No, you do. You need to experience it.
Well, I'm going to get it regardless.
Well, no, I know, but at least play the story alone. But you're going to have different outcomes because in the end, there are 3 different endings.
Oh.
And I'm not going to tell you how that ends, but I'm just saying
Well, we'll get into that
you do
later.
have a choice in the end to do one of 3 things.
All right. We'll get into that one later, then.
Oh my god, dude. So, just to let you know, 5 is right underneath Vice City. Vice City is always going to be my number 1. 5 is my second favorite of all time. It's that good.
What else
Especially
did
the
we-
music, too.
Did
And
we play
GTA
some-
Online with the heists.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, the heists are awesome. Which I am so pissed because I don't have it on PC to play a heist with John and with everybody else that owns it. I did play it online with Brian, who's one of our group members, and it's fun. But you talk about a LAN event. I mean, you talk about planning. I'm gonna stop. Keep talking. I haven't even gotten to me yet. Sorry, Jerry.
No, it's fine. And real quick, and then we'll go on to your Heart of the Swarm. I restarted that. Probably 4 or 5 missions in, and it looks. I think it was. Sorry, I'm looking at my other computer. I think there's like 20 missions. Man, I really hate playing as the Zerg.
Yeah.
I hate it
They're
with a passion.
terrible. What's funny though is you've got some players that absolutely kill.
We have friends and
I can't
my
do it.
brother that is upset. Denton and my brother Sean are Zerg Rush obsessed, and I hate them for that because of how cheap those damn lings are.
Oh yeah, it's
So
ridiculous.
let me ask you real quick, because you've already beat Heart of the Swarm, right?
Yes.
So your what
You're
is that thing called?
I would-
The helper, starts with an A, adjunct. Your adjunct at the beginning tells you what to do, like, hey, you can
Yes.
upgrade that drone to whatever to whatever. Does it continue doing that the further you get into the game?
So do you remember StarCraft 2?
Well, yeah, I remember that I can play as a Terran, no problem.
Right. Well, they had the same thing. So the thing I like about StarCraft 2 in general as a franchise is every game that's what they start out with. They start out with that helper that's telling you, here's what they need. Terran needs supply depots. Zerg needs
Overlords.
Overlords. Thank you. I'm going to tell you right now, I played the game on easy or the easiest setting, and I pushed through it as hard as I could. If it's really that much of a problem for you, I would suggest going onto YouTube and seeing if you could watch all the cinematics back to back to back to back, and just do that.
I mean, I'll play through it because I like the game.
No, I mean, yes, do that, but I'm saying if you really are, you have no idea when you're going to finish it because of that, because I hate Zerg. I will never touch him again. I can't wait for Legacy of the Void when I decide to pick it up because I've always been fascinated with the Protoss, and I want to learn them more.
Yeah, those are those ones that I want to learn more. They are definitely more difficult than the Terrans,
Absolutely.
but I also like the at least in my perspective right now, the mystery of them and the kind of their more philosophical
Yes.
feeling, at
Tradition.
least
Yes.
from my perspective, and that fascinates me as far as storytelling is concerned.
Absolutely, and that's why I really want to play it too, is because I love the dialogue between them. And it may just be the language that they speak. My life for ire and Zeratul and
Yeah,
what the hell? Yeah,
wasn't
it
there
just
like a prequel or something like that that got released?
they did. So if you pre-ordered it, there was a prologue or whatever they
Prologue, yeah.
call it that you could play. I think it was like 3 or 4 missions or something like that.
I enjoyed that.
I didn't even play that. I missed out on that. So was that good?
I mean, it takes the perspective of that one person that reached out to
Zeratul. Uh-huh.
Raynor, and he's kind of a higher up in the hierarchy. So it's very cool to get his kind of story and his perspective and everything like that.
So do you remember how StarCraft 2, Liberty, or whatever it's called, Wings of Liberty, how that ended?
I won.
With no, well, Kerrigan got captured by the
Oh,
Zerg and turned
yeah,
to the Queen.
yeah.
Out of all of the cinematics, I mean, there is a good mid-campaign cinematic that does have a little bit of a fight, if you want to call it that, between Zeratul and Kerrigan as the Zerg Queen. But the end is one of the most heart-wrenching endings, and I'm going to leave it at that
I might have to
because,
go back and watch it then.
huh?
I might have to go back and watch it then.
Well, no, this is Heart of the Swarm that I'm talking about now.
Oh, it's Heart of the Swarm. I thought you were going back
Yes.
to StarCraft
Oh
2.
no. Well, the way that Wings of Liberty ends is she gets captured by the Zerg, transformed into the Zerg Queen. She gets rescued or captured or whatever by the Terran, and then she breaks out while they're trying to study her in Heart of the Swarm. Like you saw in the beginning of Heart of the Swarm, she breaks out of that facility, and then she starts learning her abilities of controlling the Zerg, having them attack on her will and all that other stuff. How that game ends is, like I said, it's one of the most climactic and, like I said, gut-wrenching moments that you're just like, oh shit, how the hell is this going to end?
Hmm.
It's pretty amazing, and that's why I really want to play because I I'm fascinated by this game, and it's crazy that it's gone on for I think almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're
So,
playing it, but like I said, if you have an issue with it, highly recommend the cinematics at least.
okay. So what have you been playing so far besides Get Out of Hell?
Yeah. So I started out this morning with Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm about 5 hours into it. I've completed 5. I think I'm on the 6th mission. That game is hilarious as hell, but also amazing as hell. And I keep saying get out of hell, or I keep saying hell from that damn game, and I need to stop. It is amazing from all of the different things that you can do in this game, and what this game, how over the top it is. So every mission plays like an episode, like you would watch an episode of 24 or an episode of Breaking Bad, where when it starts out, you have your opening sequence. It actually has credits rolling of who's starring in this episode, the characters' names. And after you finish the episode, it actually goes into a black and white and shows the credits of the developers and everything on every mission. You're just like, what the hell am I playing? Is this a TV show or is this a actual campaign? Um, you play as Snake, of course. It's amazing. So the best thing I love in this game is the Fulton. So Fulton is anything that I can knock out unconscious, meaning I do not kill them permanently. I can strap a balloon to them and shoot them up in the sky and have them transported back to my mother base that is in the middle of an ocean. And they will then work for me from then on out. And it's hilarious of all the different things that you can Fulton, from of course, soldiers that you knock out, to animals that you tranquilize, to actually did a little puppy that's going to grow up and be my diamond dog that actually has a missing eye just like I do, and it's going to have an eye patch on its eye. And I got a picture of it. I'm going to post it on Facebook, but when you Fulton the puppy, when he comes up to you and he just starts yelping like a little rat, he's just like, "Arr, arr, arr." You actually strap the balloon to it, and then you just hear him go, "Arr," and just fly up, and you're just like, holy crap, he just freaking shot a dog up into the sky that is insane, but yet incredible at the same time. So many other things that you can do in this game. So you enter a mission, and you're told what to do. Whether that is you need to capture this this Russian language speaking person that can also speak English, because right now when I try to interrogate somebody, I can't understand what they're saying because they're speaking in Russian. So I need to find a translator so that he can teach me the Russian language so that whenever I talk to them, I can understand what they're telling me. When you start that mission, you literally start the mission and you choose the way that you want to go in. Guns blazing. Do you want to sneak around? I actually got into a Jeep, started driving the Jeep, and just plowed right through and jumped out and got in my little cardboard box and just sat there. And then I popped out and shot a dude, and there was like little corn, styrofoam corn things that flew out of the place. It is the most crazy action game I've played this year. I do want to play more of it. I probably will in the wee hours of when I'm not even thinking that straight, because that'll just make for more fun ways that I'll probably screw up the mission. And then I played, and I just finished, before we came in here to record the podcast, Uncharted Drake's Fortune, which is from the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection on the PS4. I've been playing through Uncharted 1. I only had about 4 chapters left, and I finished that right before the podcast. It took about an hour and a half. I forgot how much I did not like that game due to the horror elements and the supernatural elements, that I was just like, I thought this was supposed to be about Indiana Jones style, like I'm going to whip something, I'm going to solve a puzzle, and I'm going to move on. Not have these zombies come out of a cave and try to eat me.
Were you going to whip it good?
Say what?
I said, were you going to whip it good?
I would have.
You said you wanted to whip something.
I know, I would have. And that's why I can't wait for Uncharted 4, because I actually do have a grappling hook that I can swing from, and I can't wait to use it. I'm impressed with what they've done with the PS4 version. It does look updated. I wouldn't say it looks fantastic. I can't wait to play Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, because that's my favorite of the trilogy. Again, has a little bit more supernatural elements with these like Yeti men that you're gonna see in the snow. But as far as like, that is the game of the year in 2009. This came out 6 years ago, and starting that up with the cinematic, I was still blown away by the way that game looked and how I'm trying to climb out of a train that is literally hanging off of a cliff while it's snowing. So I'll be playing a little bit more of that probably after we finish recording. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. I want to also get on the Xbox a little bit, play some maybe Halo 5, I don't know yet. Or as I'm calling it right now, Halo 5, because I'm not really...
Why is it Halo 5?
I know, I can't wait to have Ian like school me and tell me, well, didn't you know that this is supposed to be like this? And I'll be like, no. I think honestly, and I'm not trying to like call 343 out or whoever's trying to, they're making this new trilogy. I think Halo died with me at the end of Halo 3, because that's how it should have ended. 117, he's dead. That's it.
What?
Well, supposedly
I'm
to be,
kidding.
in my opinion. That's how I
mean...
I love the ending of 3. I thought it was the best way to go out. I thought the commemoration little ceremony that they had at the end was fantastic, and you saw it sketched in the 117. I was just like, wow. And then you see John, and nobody knew his freaking name unless I guess you read the books, which I never did. So it's like, wow, his name's John. I know a John.
I think we all know John.
Yeah, we all know a John. I did like Halo Reach. I never finished or played through ODST because I just couldn't get into that either.
I really, the one thing that ticked me off about ODST is actually I wish it was a different engine. I really wish it was a third-person cover shooter.
Yeah.
I think ODST to me would have been a lot better as a third-person cover shooter.
And yeah, I agree with that. I have not played Halo 5 multiplayer. I have heard it is the best since Halo 2, which I'm really interested to know if that's true or false. Meaning, is there still the douchebag kids that are on there calling me a motherfucker? I mean, I don't need to hear that. I'm sorry. And I'm really shocked we haven't cussed that much on this podcast, which is awesome.
Because we haven't drank enough.
And that is true, too. But
So
before somebody comes into the house, because I'm going to turn over to you guys before we close up, I hope that there is a good ending, but I have heard mixed feelings about the end of Halo 5. And I'll leave it at that. So, what do you want to say, Jerry?
well, a couple of things. I think we're on the wrapping up side.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so two things. Rocket League, a horror game. So, which one's first?
I actually, I didn't even think about it before, because I did not get the donation. So if you're going to be listening to this after Extra Life's already over, I had put out there on our group page that if anybody donated at least $10 to me, I would download Until Dawn and play it tonight. I didn't realize that if I did purchase it, that it would take some time to download. So I will make this deal. If anybody at least donates $10 by the end of this run of 2015, which I think goes until the end of the year, then I will still purchase Until Dawn, and I will find a night to play it to where everybody can watch it and stream it.
Heck yeah.
Well, are we gonna? So, and we can do this offline. I think I'll still try at least to do one more episode of Alan Wake, even though I really don't want to. That was the last Extra Life game. I haven't played it in over a year. So
I can't believe that you actually are got into that game, because from what I heard, what John told me about that game, I can't believe you're playing it. I don't do that type of horror. That's
I don't know. We'll see. But anyways,
I almost want to donate to you just to watch you play, but I have to play, so.
No, it's fine. Anything else, John?
Nah.
What are you going to play, John? Tell everybody what you're going to play for probably the remainder of the 11 hours or 10 hours that we have left.
Fallout 4.
No!
We'll get some Rocket League in there, but it's probably just
We'll try Rocket League
Fallout
in a
4.
bit. Yeah, I do want to start Uncharted 2 here in a bit, just because.
I did try some Fallout or some Rocket League earlier, and there is lag that occurs. Your ping will start to get up near 120, 130, and it gets a little rough. So be forewarned there. That was when Mumble and the broadcast were going.
Well, maybe if anything, we can do some pointless Counter-Strike Go or TF2 or some other shooter that we can just get into a party or even Chivalry if that's still open.
Yeah, I think Chivalry may be the better way to go. But other than that, I think we're going to encounter lag.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we do.
What are you thinking about playing for the rest of the night/morning, Jerry?
I'm going to try to finish up Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Awesome.
I might try to finish up Rack, that first-person shooter game. I have a feeling I'm almost done. I'm stuck at this one part. And I've gone back and forth between controller and WASD and mouse, and I still get stuck at this one part. So I don't know how that'll go. But I'm really trying to burn through the backlog.
Hey, that's why I'm happy that I completed 2 games, even though one of the games I've already completed once, so I beat it twice. I'm going to actually probably hop on and play some Final Fantasy.
Ooh, there you go.
Because nothing says you're tired than doing turn-based grinding to level up your characters for a boss fight.
Oh my gosh.
Japanese voice actors. So why not? I'll do that for a little bit, and then I'll come back and find you guys. Anyways, I appreciate you guys listening. This is episode 43 of Super Barley Brothers Extra Life. So our donations will be open. I believe, like I said, I think they go until the end of the year. So anything helps, $1, $5, whatever you can give. It all goes to the local area hospitals in our neighborhood. I know that we're all playing for Dallas hospitals. I know Cook Children's is mine. I'm not sure what you guys are playing for. Children's Medical, I think.
Children's Medical, yep.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm Children's Medical Plano.
Awesome. So it is to help these kids that are stuck at the hospital that cannot leave, and they need just things that entertain them other than, you know, being in a bed all day. So it's really cool. We actually get updates from the hospitals telling us what they spent the money on. Like Cook Children's even emailed me and told me that they did buy about 10 new PlayStation 3s. They were looking at current gen consoles, but they wanted our feedback as gamers on, you know, what types of games kids could play on each system. So I even brought up a Wii U would probably be a good suggestion, just because it isn't motion. They don't have to move around. It's not like the Wii was. So if they are bedridden or anything like that, they still have a controller. And it's got a tablet screen on there. So what's better than, you know, if they have to stay in bed, that they have like a little tablet that they can play on. So I know I just talked a little bit about that too fast, but whatever. It's a good cause, Extra Life. Our donation pages are up on the group page, and we'll post it again whenever I post this episode, which will be either late tomorrow or probably Monday. I don't know yet. Anyways, this is Scott. You can find me on Twitter, Flip42, FL1P42. If you guys have a question or want us to talk about anything on a future podcast, you can email us at podcast@superbarleybros.com. Jerry, take it away. What's your handle, and where can we find you?
JD_Shep, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, that's it.
John.
You can find me at Phoenix42, PH03, NIX42 on everything.
Awesome. And with that being said, again, episode 43, Extra Life. You guys have a good evening or afternoon, whatever time you guys are listening to this, and take care. Thanks.
Toodaloo.